Good morning, good evening, good afternoon guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're having a beautiful day and that you're staying safe and that you guys are well, because ultimately that's all that matters really. So today I thought it'd be interesting to... someone's mowing the lawn. Okay, I moved because that was just not happening. So I thought it would be interesting to bring to you a kind of how I'm training at the moment kind of thing. It's a little bit of a crazy time. Pools still aren't open yet in Scotland, which to me is just absolutely ridiculous. Pubs are open, let's all go get lashed, let's all go snog each other's faces off, but we can't lift weights or go for a swim or stay healthy. Logic. Anyway, before we get into politics, I wanted to explain how I'm training at the moment. So at the moment I'm kind of not really in a specific routine, which is really weird for me. Usually I thrive on a routine. I do miss training so much, but making the good out of a bad situation, it is really nice to listen to my body and just stay active. So I'm not necessarily on a specific training plan, I'm not necessarily doing planning sessions weeks in advance. I'm just kind of waking up and thinking, how am I going to stay active today? So we had a lot of sun last week in Scotland and I took advantage of that, went for a few walks, and I also went for a swim at Loch Ken. So every Sunday I'm going for a swim at Loch Ken. It's nice because there's a safety boat, so it's quite nice to know that I'm not on my own. It's a little bit different to normal if I was swimming up here, but I'm still trying to swim up here where I can, so I am still using the endless pool where possible, but it's kind of racking up the pounds, so I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more creative with my workouts. So today I'm going to Dan's gym. Now, the reason why I'm able to get in a gym, a lot of people have been wondering based on my Instagram posts. If you don't follow me, follow me. But a lot of people have been wondering how I'm in a gym in Scotland. Now, the reason why I'm in a gym is because I'm doing work for Dan. So I'm working for him, I'm doing his videoing, his editing, his paperwork, little bits and bobs for Dan. And from that, I'm basically kind of in his bubble. And if I'm going to the gym anyway to work for him, then he's not really got a problem with me working out. So that's quite good, and I am very lucky in that sense. A lot of people don't have access to a gym, and I am very lucky. So today I'm going to work at Dan's gym, but before that I'm going to get in a cheeky workout. Now, I've managed to find out the problem with my hip. So I've had a little bit of an issue with my hip for a while. It's just been really painful, and I managed to get to my physio, and it was as bad to the extent that I couldn't walk on it when I went up Ben Ledi. And at my age and my fitness, I kind of shouldn't really not be able to walk. So I've kind of been going to my physio every 2 weeks-ish lately, because I'm just trying to fix it, kind of trying to find out what the problem was. And last week we think we found the problem, or one of my problems. So basically what it is what we think it is my right glute is doing all of the work. So my left glute isn't activating when I'm doing movements. So when I'm walking, when I'm running, when I'm lifting, when I'm doing anything, my left glute is basically just sat there like, I'm gonna chill out, guys. You can do all the work, right glute, which isn't overly helpful. So basically my right glute and all the really small muscles that are in the glute have basically just seized up because they're doing so much work. And if I was swimming, it wouldn't be as bad, because I mean, I don't really use my legs as much as what, say, a backstroker would, or even a sprint freestyler. So because I don't use my legs as much in the water, going into lockdown has been a big shock for my system to actually be using my legs. So I think that's why I've got so much pain. It didn't feel muscular, but it must be muscular, or related to the fact that my left glute just isn't firing. So lately I've been doing a lot of isolation work on my left glute alone. So every time I do glute work, it's just my left glute and my left side. I'm not doing my right side. Okay, so here you can see that I'm doing the exercise that my physio gave me. So I've just put my hand on my glute just to make sure that it is engaging. I'm not just trying to feel my bum, but I'm really trying to make sure that that glute is engaging while I'm doing this. And as you see, my leg's bent, which just basically isolates the glute more and stops the hamstring from being recruited in this movement. So I'm just kind of trying to fire up the glute. And I only do this on my left side. Now later on, what you'll see is I actually add a dumbbell in. This just makes it a little bit heavier and makes it a little bit harder. Now to begin with, just the movement alone was enough, but now I'm actually starting to build up that strength in that left glute to be able to do with a 2.5 kilo dumbbell. Now it is a little bit tricky to balance it on that leg, but if it was a double leg movement, it would be a lot easier. So that's the one thing I would say is if you're trying to grow your glutes, this is a really good movement. Maybe do a double leg. Okay, so next up on this particular day, remember this is just one day, I don't do this every day. I am doing single leg kickbacks with the cable machine. Now, I've really been enjoying doing these because I feel like it adds a little bit more resistance to that isolated glute training. So it's really trying to get that left glute engaged. Now, a lot of people do it both legs. I'm just doing it left just because I'm trying to grow my left glute and engage it. And I don't want my right glute to be doing too much work. I have my standing leg bent just because I find that this doesn't recruit that right glute as much. If I have a straight leg, I find that it recruits still the right glute, and I want to take that focus away from that. So I really like to do my glute work, my isolation work at the start of a workout. I feel like it wakes my body up, it warms me up, but also it's kind of getting that left glute ready to engage. Now, the focus of this workout isn't glutes or lower body, but I am using it, so I don't want my right glute to be doing all the work and then doing my isolation work. So that's why I do it at the start. So here I'm just warming up with the barbell, doing some deadlifts, and lately I've really been loving doing a little bit of a Metcon style workout first. So I was going to run and then do a workout, but I thought I wanted to incorporate it in together just to really get that blood pumping, and I think it adds a little bit more of a challenge to the lifting. So what I did after I warmed up with the barbell, as you can see, I did 500 meters run, then I did 10 to 12 barbell deadlifts, and that was at 40 kilos. Then I did 8 to 10 burpees, and then I did 8 to 10 dumbbell snatches each side, and that was at 7.5. So the weights were quite light, they were just kind of trying to keep that heart rate up. So initially my plan was to really go fast on the deadlifts, but because I ended up adding burpees into this workout, I kind of wanted to use the deadlifts and the snatches as recovery. So I ended up really trying to push the run and the burpees because they're quite cardio, they get the heart rate up anyway. But I wanted to do the run at a pace that was slightly faster than what I would have done. Particularly if I'd have just went out for a run on the streets. I wanted to do it at a little bit of a challenging pace, but I didn't want to do it too fast in case it shocked my hip. So I did it a little bit faster than my 10k pace, and that's been pretty fast considering the furthest I've ran lately has been 3k, just because I've been trying to ease my hip back into it. And I think that the way that I did this workout was really good for it because it incorporated that running. It started to get that speed back a little bit, but it also was still really challenging in terms of the weights afterwards. halfway through. You look like an absolute steak, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I've been trying to do it like consistently. Yeah, oh nice.
What can I do to make you stay a little longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a little longer.
Okay, so just done. I did 6 rounds. Pretty happy with it. I didn't do too heavy, but the thing I love about workouts like that is it makes it feel heavy very quickly. So if you're going to do a workout like that and you've never done one before, don't bump loads of weight on, because as soon as you hit round 2 it's going to absolutely slaughter you. So I just did 40 kilos on the bar. Yeah, 20, 40, yeah, 40 kilos on the bar, and I only did 7.5 kilos for the snatch. The snatch was the easiest. I think I probably could have done heavier on that. I reckon 10 kilos would have been fine. But I just wanted to play it safe because the burpees were going to kill me. The run was going to kill me because I did it at a speed which wasn't fast enough to go anaerobic straight away, but it was fast enough to really be painful. So that's 6 rounds done, and I'm gonna do a little bit of upper body and then that'll be me done. But I'm a very shiny human being right now. So what I've been quite enjoying doing, I've just come out for a little bit of fresh air before I start this, is doing a Metcon, so what I just did, and then doing my strength work, because it's a little bit more fatigued. So I feel like it really challenges me more, and I've kind of, since I've been out of the pool, I've really been missing the challenge of hard sessions. So that's why I'm trying to do Metcons, because even though they do have a lot of weight, it's still very aerobic, and I feel like it's probably the closest thing to swimming, because swimming does involve strength and endurance. So like I could just go for a run, but I think I did that very early on in lockdown, but it really shattered my hip and my knee. So just because I'm not used to that impact, I've been trying to mix it up a little bit, and this is definitely a challenge. So I'm gonna just do my assisted pull-up work, but I'm gonna superset it with some seated Arnold press, and I like to do it seated, single arm, just so that it challenges any imbalances, and it really challenges my core a lot more. So I'm using Dan's purple band. Now before lockdown I was using, I'll show you, I was using this green band. It's quite thick. Now, fatigued, I am doing his purple band, which is this one. So it's like half the thickness ish. So I have gained a lot of upper body strength during lockdown. My lower body strength gone because I've not been able to do anything because of my hip, but it'll come back pretty quick, and also I do use upper body more. So okay, so like I said, I've been liking to do a little bit of strength work fatigued, just because I feel like it's a bit more of a challenge. So what I'm trying to do is, even little things, I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of which leg I'm using. So you'll notice that usually I would step down with my right leg with the band, but this time I stepped down with my left leg. So even just that small little movement of just that one glute extension, I'm trying to be conscious of. So every little counts kind of thing. So I'm just doing fatigued pull-ups assisted, and then I'm supersetting that with an Arnold press. Arnold press, I'm doing 7.5 kilos, which is pretty light for me, but I was absolutely dead. So I just thought it was a perfect weight, really. And the reason why I like it seated is because it stops you from using your legs. You really have to use your upper body. There's no leg movement, there's no pushing into it.
It's all in the motion. It's all in the motion. It's all in the motion.
So next I did some single leg lunges, and I'm actually slightly elevated here, so my front foot is it's about an inch off the ground, so it just generated a little bit of a oof. And you'll see that I'm slightly leaning forward. I just find that this isolates my glutes a little bit more, stops the quad from being engaged in this. So I ended on a little bit of glute work just for that left glute again. Didn't really do too much, but I just felt like I was going to do some power cleans, but I was kind of knackered. So rather than just doing them really sloppy, I thought I would do some more targeted glute work, and I feel like this is really benefiting me, this glute work that I've been doing, so it's really good to be working on my weaknesses. So next I just did some single leg step ups. Now these last two exercises I only did on my left leg just because that's where my weakness is. So I was doing some single leg step ups, and this is about 20 inches, and I didn't want it to be too high, but there is clearly a very big weakness in my left glute, so I did a couple on my right just to test it, and it was so much easier on my right, so it will be really interesting to see how much improvement there is. So I was just trying to isolate it. Obviously it's a little bit more than perpendicular when my knee is more than perpendicular, so it's actually harder to recruit the glute more. It was a really good workout, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Click the subscribe button to see more videos from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.